Brofist to you all. It's Friday afternoon once again here in the beautiful, rainy, cold, dark, dank Manchester. And you guys are rocking up once again because it is, of course, drama time. We've had a ton of fun this week. We've been playing some Evoker, gearing it up, messing around with the Yogscast. A little bit more to do before the Dragonflight launch, where we will be at Dragonflight Castle, filling out challenges and doing all sorts of stuff with other content creators for the Dragonflight launch. So it'd be amazing. I know many of you are still waiting for visits to Blizzard, the video we shot over there. It's actually going to be 2 videos, and we should be able to update you with that and maybe see something next week. It should be available. Mr. Chris, the good lady Bex, and Nups, and everybody has been working round the clock. A lot of 5 a.m. mornings for me this week. Filming super early while it's dark outside, whipping the cameras out and doing all those kinds of things. It has been an extraordinary week, and I'm looking forward to a sleep at some point. It is coming, I am promised. But that's not why you're here right now. It's not why you're here right now. I do need to change this to drama time, though, so we don't get weird things happening on the stream. Checkers, hold, nailed it. There it is. Oh, yeah. All side. Well, sleep when we're dead? Nah, I want to sleep this weekend. That's what I want to do. Around the world, on the internet, people doing crazy things. Doing crazy, weird, and wonderful things. And then occasionally, those people send us a lovely story to recount the events that may have transpired or troubled them and done all those kinds of things to drama@preachgaming.com. A lovely email written in your best handwriting. We only accept it in a written handwriting via a pen or a number 2 pencil. That is the only way we accept stories. So if you even attempt to type it out, you will be denied. Okay? You will be denied. It's very important. Okay? We want it written in pen or a number 2 pencil. Yeah? Are quills allowed? We will accept quills, but your inkmanship better be on point. All right? I want it crisp calligraphy at all stages. Yeah? Or you could just whack it on whatever nonsense document you want and send it to us via Word, Notepad. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I got 4 stories in front of me. ASMR is mentioned here. Now, one of these stories, our good lady Bex has labeled as, this is going to make your blood boil. I think we should start with that. If we're not starting with pure anger and misery, then what kind of drama time is it? It makes no goddamn sense. So we're calling it... Oh, God. Okay. The Wrathbaby. The Wrathbaby. A term that somehow is now a term of endearment amongst people. Which... It's not. It was a very derogatory term, Wrathbaby. A very derogatory term for a long time, and somehow now is considered to be kind of a nice thing. A nice thing. I'm a Wrathbaby. Yeah. See, people say that. People actually claim to be Wrathbabies, which blows my mind, because the origins of the Wrathbaby are whiny little bitches that started in Wrath of the Lich King and didn't know hard content and liked the easy mode and complained about any level of difficulty and basically shit themselves when Cataclysm came out and you had to do things like interrupt enemies in dungeons. You know, mind-blowing things like that. Mind-blowing things like that. The Wrathbabies were all... It was definitely one of those. But now, everyone's like, I'm a Wrathbaby, and believe it's just because you started playing in Wrath. Unfortunate. Oh, okay. So, my live audience, our wonderful judges and jurors... My collection of judges and jurors who may need to rend verdict on someone today. We need 2 guild names from you guys. We need a 10-man raiding guild that's not very good. That's your only clue for your theme. And we need another guild. It doesn't say size, but one of the best. Right, we need a bad guild and a good guild. A bad guild and a good guild. The Edge of Night, Willie's Wonder Weasels, the Gaggers... 10 Vokers. Oh, no. The B team. Oh, team 2 is kind of bad. The Cosmic Raiders, Fruity Tuesdays, the Rat Jammers. Oh, I will have the Good Guild as last resort. One of my... a guild I tried to get into several times, but no joy. And the Crawlers. Sure, why not? We'll have the Crawlers as our 10-man guild that didn't get very far, despite the fact that... Oh, maybe we twist it on its head. The last resort... the bad guild. I'll pick as we go through. Let's begin our journey today, guys. Put your feet up, enjoy yourself, have us on your second screen, whatever it might be. But let's have some fun. Hello, Mike and the wonderful audience. I am a long time lurker around the YouTubes and the stream when I'm able to catch you. I first encountered your videos all the way back in Qatar. Wow, that is old school. So don't worry. My noobish behavior during this story was before your teachings and gospels. And I've stuck around since then, trying to contribute in what ways I have been able. Most of it, I've been a student, however, and not had much to contribute other than my time and one extra like and all that jazz. Hey, those likes help, as that's why those people want you to smash that like button. Yeah? Smash it. It actually does a huge amount of work with YouTube's algorithm, is if you smash the like button. So, things you want to know. Now, I have long thought about wanting to send in a drama story to take part in this glorious tradition. However, I never really found myself having a dramatic scenario. Oh, sure, they've been around, but I've always managed to steer clear of it and not get involved, or leave before shit hit the fan. With the launch of Wrath of the Lich King Classic, one of my earliest experiences in World of Warcraft came to light within my mind. Something that I had put away, locked safely, deep, dark in the brain. But now, as I fly through the icy mountains of Storm Peaks and gaze upon Ulduar from afar, it all comes back to me ever so clearly. As the title may divulge, I am what you would call a Wrathbaby. I was 13 before my parents let me play World of Warcraft, partly due to financials and economics, and partly because they probably wanted me to play a sports ball game or something where I bash a puck around some ice. I did try sports ball. Not for me. Not for me. Instead of a stick or boots and a puck, I wanted my own sport, mouse and keyboard forever. But let me tell you, with the wisdom and age that comes with hindsight, I was a dumb young man. Like, a complete fucking idiot. But fortunately, you can't be banned from World of Warcraft for just being an idiot. Kind of true. And finally, as I gave way to the sports ball games, I got to play. One of my bestest friends in the whole wide world from school had been playing for quite a while. He was the one who got me interested in the game. I remember being at his home a few times and him showing me World of Warcraft. He opened that login screen and presented me with his undead warlock Celise. It looked so fucking good. I was blown away. He would casually just sit there saying, "Hey, come and play with me, come on!" And we would do all the things in the game. We could go to battlegrounds and slay the useless alliance. We could venture into the dungeons of the world, overcoming the challenges as a group with us as its core. We would become a tag team, crime fighters, a dynamic duo, blood brothers, a bond that could never be broken by anything. Right? Right? So I did it. I approached my parentals. I cast myself before them, and I raised my hands together thusly. Please buy me World of Warcraft. They could see the desperation in my eyes. They said yes. And I watched that installation bar ever slowly fill up. It took hours, but I watched every single percentage rise. It finished. And I opened up the character creation screen, but what now? We had many plans, raiding, dungeons, all that kind of stuff, but we hadn't discussed this. I clicked through the options, but I didn't want to read what they did. The tooltips were very large for a 13-year-old. I found the undead, and they looked fucking cool, so I'll go with that. But what class? Warlock? Yes. Yes. I'll be a warlock. I had seen my friends. They're cool. Dark powers, demons. He had told me all about warlocks. They were gangster. And so it was that I essentially made an exact copy of Celise's warlock. The dynamic duo of warlocks, I thought. Brothers in darkness. Forged in the void of the world. I don't remember his reaction word for word, but I believe he said something along the lines of, dude, what the fuck, man? Forget him, though. I leveled that warlock up to cap and got to join Salice's guild. Last resort. This was just in time for the release of Wrath of the Lich King. I remember capping 70 on that thing somewhere in Netherstorm. I go back there sometimes, you know. Just because I have this vivid memory of my first ever time capping a character. I go there. And sometimes, you know, I kill the same mob and have a little smile. Do you really? I capped my first character in Winterspring on the wolves, the stealth wolves in the north. I've never gone back there, though, to look, gaze upon when I did it. Badlands for me? Does everybody remember the first zone where they capped their character? Crossroads, capped mine in Eastern Plaguelands. Mine was a gnome in BRD. I do remember the first time I capped my warrior. It was in the north. Shadow Moon, Stealth Type, whatever they are. Fucking cat things, whatever. Western Plaguelands, Netherstorm. Yeah, I don't go back and reminisce, though, about the first time I capped a character. I remember I bought the Wormsong Spaulders for every penny I had. They were like level 56 shoulders. I'm being so proud of them. I have the screenshot. I do have the screenshot of my first time ever capping a warrior. Anyway, in Wrath, we both capped. And Salice always tried teaching me how to play both the game and a warlock. I did not have a good knowledge or understanding of the game. Of course, I was new. But I had learned enough for my class to do some decent deeps. We started raiding with Last Resort, and it was alright. It was Wrath of the Lich King Nax. A literal baby with a bottle can finish Wrath of the Lich King Naxxramas. So we cleared it. To my little Wrathbaby eyes, it was amazing. I had never seen anything like this. Enormous bosses. Bosses made of people stitched together. I was always so excited for raid night. All these players moving together as one unit. In hindsight, the raids were dog shit. Now you know how we felt as seasoned raiders. Everybody loves Wrath of the Lich King Naxxramas and shit. It was awful. It was the worst. It was the worst. God bless the hard modes they gave us. Jesus Christ. Never been more disappointed in my life than Wrath of the Lich King raids. I prefer Emerald Nightmare over Wrath of the Lich King Naxxramas. The raids were dog shit. And the fact that I was one of the top 3 DPS was inexcusable for the other players. Ulduar came later. We're talking about the launch raids. If you were a raider in Vanilla and CBC, I cannot express to you how disappointing the Wrath of the Lich King launch raids were. They got better when we discovered the hard modes, but... oh, man. Clearing all the raids on your first raid night is not a good feel for a raider. That's not good. Like, should we go and try Malagos? Dead. Should we go and try Obsidian Sanctum? Dead. If it's first night, yeah, pretty much. It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. The guild was terrible, but my friend Salice kept telling me that this was good. I should be happy. We're killing everything. What more do you possibly want? Of course, he, the mighty Salice, in my eyes, could join any guild and perform better than any other DPS. If he so wished, he said, he could grace any guild around with his presence, and they would just sign him instantaneously. If he wanted, Salice explained to me, he could be in a world-first raiding guild. He just chose not to. Instead, he wanted to play with his friends and people he knew. He had been offered, he told me, but he had declined. Primarily because of just me. He wanted to play with me. But you're all obviously doubting the words of the mighty Salice, but put yourself in my shoes. I'm 13 years old. I've just walked into this game. We're going to the raids, and he is the top DPS. Did I have any reason to doubt this? Not really. Imagine how impressed I was. I considered myself privileged. my friend, who I knew in real life, was so good at this game, he could be the top raider of the world. And the only reason he wasn't doing that, guys, was to spend time with me. What a guy. What a friend. I imagine, Mike, it must be like when Ross chooses to play with you. I was blown away. Like, this has to stop, right? This fucking Ross cocksucking needs to stop. That's not even me making that up, by the way. That is written in the story. Later on in the expansion, a few weeks before Ulduar arrived, it was just a random Tuesday or something, I joined a group for Nexus Heroic. This is one of the few times that I went out and did something without my friend, without Solis. Oh no, he's going to be exposed to the rest of the game. He's going to get crushed. He's going to be exposed to a real gamer. Oh no. Oh, nightmare. Nightmare. He's about to meet an actual gamer. I guarantee it. I'm not sure, but I guarantee he's about to meet some Chad. There's a Chad incoming. This was one of the first and only times I played without Solis. The group finished up with me. I don't remember exactly who were in there except for there being another warlock in the group by the name of Mavinar. The dungeon went on without issue. I even outdamaged the other warlock. I could be wrong. Outdamaged the other warlock on one or two of the bosses. After the dungeon was over, Mavinar whispered me. I don't remember the exact word for word. It was many years ago. And I didn't even know you could take screenshots at that time. Remember, I'm a newbie. But this is kind of how that conversation went. Hey, that was some pretty good DPS. You aren't by chance looking for a raiding guild? I was flabbergasted. Never had I been asked such a thing, and I didn't know what to say. Hi, I don't know. Are you in a raiding guild? Yeah. And it so happens we are looking for a decent warlock to join us for progression raiding in Ulduar. What is Ulduar? What's progression? What's he talking about? Okay. That sounds fun. Awesome. Well, why don't you think about it and just whisper me later on? Okay, sure. Now, I didn't get much of that conversation, so I went to my mentor. I went to my friend to understand the context of the words that had just been presented to me. I approached the mighty Solis. I told him what had happened and about the conversation. The crawlers? Really? Dude, they're like the best guild on the server. Why would they want you? I don't know. He just said they needed a warlock. Oh, okay. Well, you should totally go for it. You'd be stupid otherwise. You think so? I guess so, but will we be able to play together? Oh, yeah, dude. We could still do dungeons and all that stuff. Okay. Okay, maybe not too bad. For a supportive friend. All right. Honestly, he was probably glad to be rid of me for a while. And also, in hindsight, it was kind of cool of him not to go behind my back and just message the guy himself. We're ready for backstabbing, but it's not happening yet. So I sent a message over to Mavinar. Told him I'd love to. Absolutely. He told me to get ready for the guild invite. So I typed up a really, really long goodbye message for last resort. And then pressed enter and did not wait for a reply and typed G-quit. So brave. So a round of applause for the brave. Round of applause. So brave. So brave. I sat around for no more than 30 seconds before I got an invite to the crawlers. I joined and then was hit by a wall of text in the pink from Mavinar. Oh no. Oh, I see what the problem is. Oh no. All right, what's the problem? Yeah, okay, people are clocking it as well. Yeah, this guy has no idea what progression rating is, and he's now in a good guild. Bastard. Bastard. The moment I joined the guild, a giant wall of text in the pink arrived in front of me, explaining what the specific raid spec was supposed to be, and that we needed to be using this one for Ulduar progression. He told me that I should make sure I buy some gear from the Valor and Emblem vendors and some gems and enchants from the auction house, where I'm expected to maintain complete cutting-edge preparation all the time. Mavenar made it his job to make sure my character was up to task as the Warlock class leader. Now, looking back on it, he was a really good guy. He was just making sure that I was ready and that all the preparation they had done, I understand. But then he wanted me to do something I had been able to not do so far. I had to join voice comms. You played with your friend for all this time without using voice comms? What the fuck is that? Your IRL friend. And you never played with voice comms. Why? In the wall of pink. In the wall of pink, there was a Ventrilo server and said, log on fast so we can have a chat. He's waiting for me. Oh no. Oh, Bex. Oh god, guys, we're going down a rabbit hole. Okay, this is gonna be this is dark. This is really dark. I love that you guys are so innocent as to think the big problem is that he doesn't have Ventrilo installed. Oh, bless your hearts. Bless your fucking hearts. Oh god. All right. There's something that I have not told you, but you should know now. I did have my own PC. That's not the problem. It was my brother's old one, and one, it's not great. It's the old PC. But two, it was not a Windows PC. I was playing on an old stationary Ubuntu PC. Well, there we go. Oh, no. For those of you who have no experience with this, it made my life much, much, much more complicated. Installing things like Ventrilo was roughly an hour's worth of task, at least for me as a 13-year-old. Also, and I mean this honestly, don't lie, I did not have a microphone. What to do, what to do, what to do. I thought about it for a moment and decided my only solution here was to tell a lie. I simply said, that's great, Mavenar. I don't have the time right now. I have to walk the dog. We did not have a dog. I asked if it's okay if we just do this a little later. Fine, he said, not thinking anything of it. Let's be sure here, Mavenar is not a bad guy. He's just trying to sort out his new recruit. I don't know why I lied or wanted to hide my actual situation. I thought I would just be immediately kicked out of the guild and be guildless. But anyway, I scrambled. I worked the Ubuntu magic and got the package for Ventrilo. I double-checked it from my dad's Windows PC that I was sure it worked. Smart. Actually did a test run. Often programs installed would just start but not work. I stole the standalone microphone from my dad's desk and plugged it in. Found drivers for it and installed them. Oh god, do you remember when we didn't have plug and play? Ew, gross. Absolutely gross. Oh man. Pre-plug and play days. Can you imagine now if you bought a headset and you had to fucking start installing drivers and shit and it didn't just work? Motherfucker. Now I need RGB software instead. We're much better. I jumped back into the game and whispered Mavenar that I was ready. Could he link the server again? He did. And I tabbed back and forth to type it in. I had not yet figured out how to copy text from in-game. But finally, I was ready to connect. I saw Mavenar sitting in one of the Ventrilo channels. I was nervous. I had forgotten how nervous I was. With all the things that I had to do to get this working, I had pushed away the feelings of nerves, but they all came back. There was nothing I could do to avoid this, though. I told him I was ready. I had joined the server. Time to do it. I coughed and tried to push my prepubescent voice as low as I could so as to not reveal my young age. And then I joined. Hey, Mavenar. Hey. Everything okay with your dog? That was a long walk. Yeah. Totally fine. Alright, cool. I just wanted to have a little chat. Maybe learn some more about you. Talk a little about what you'll need to do in our raid. Cool. Yeah, pretty cool. So, tell me about yourself. Where you from? What do you do? I'm in school in Sweden. Then my life fell apart. Oh no. Oh, me too. He then switched to speaking Swedish. I didn't want to talk Swedish with him. When I was speaking English, I could blame some of my youthful dumbness on the language barrier. If I had to speak Swedish, he would instantly know I was a 13-year-old kid. But what am I supposed to do? I've been called out, so we swap it to Swedish. I'll keep typing to you, Mike, in English. Namaste. So you won't have to translate the sweetung. Okay, thank you. I like that you maybe suspected I could. I don't speak demon. Nice. So, do you have any raid experience? Yeah. I cleared Nax Ramus. Yeah, I was keeping my answers about the whole thing very short. My reasoning was to keep the conversation short and concise. Don't talk too much and he won't be able to pick up that I was really young. Oh, so nothing before that, like in the Burning Crusade or anything? No. Okay. Well, you'll be fine. He then linked me a bunch of videos and documents and told me to read through it. I started to get angry that I'd been given homework. Yeah, there it is. I don't know, this guild may have been too hardcore for me. Homework in a freaking video game? But it was the top guild in the server. So I did it. We had another meeting before my first raid so that Mavenar could make sure I had all my gear sorted, went through all the bosses and our jobs as Warlock. We were about to go into the war. The guy for sure understood how young I was and wanted to make sure I wouldn't fuck up. Raid night came. Mavenar whispered me to make sure that I had flasks, potions, food, the whole fucking business. Sorry. What? Flasks? He never replied to me. He didn't say a damn word. He just opened the trade window and gave me a stack of each. This guy. I feel like this guy staked his reputation on you. I guarantee this guy went to like his officers or guild master or whatever and was like, dudes, I found us a warlock and he's baller DPS. Did this heroic with him. He was sweet. Absolutely sweet. And now he's realizing he's probably fucked and hoping and praying that things are going to work out. We started. I was in Ventrilo. I had my dad's microphone set up and all ready to go. Now, remember my Ubuntu PC? We remember. The most it had ever done in this game so far was Nax Ramus 10-man raiding. It handled that fine, in my 13-year-old opinion, with probably somewhere between 10 to 15 FPS. It turned out 25-man raiding was not something that my PC liked. I had never seen it drop below 10, but in this raid, I had 5 FPS, with my graphics set to the absolute lowest humanly imaginable. Now, I will say it in a simple matter for you guys. It did not help my raid performance. I did avoid dying to most things, but I died a lot. I didn't really do much damage either. But fortunately, they really just needed me to put up some sort of curse that I didn't have on my bars, but found in my spell book. That's why they needed a warlock. You're a cursed bitch. They actually don't give a fuck because they need curse. Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. We really don't care if you die. Just put that fucking curse up. That's it. That's great. Oh, to be in Wrath again. They also probably just figured I'd need some gear. After each boss kill, Mavenar whispered me and told me to bid. We apparently used something called DKP on one or more items. I never really bid more than the minimum, but I got a lot of loot. This guild just funneled items to me for some reason. Probably thinking I just needed some gear and that maybe I'd become a good strong warlock like Mavenar had told them about. A few weeks went by and I spoke to Celise. We did a dungeon and he expected me and was gobsmacked at what I was wearing. He was still wearing a lot of Nax 10 loot. I was rocking some Ulduar epics. Celise started asking if there more spots in this guild. Like, is there a place? I said I'll ask, you know. I've got some sway with the Warlock Classmaster. I'll see what I can hook up, brother. Don't worry about it. I know you're looking poor right now, but I'm looking fresh. So I'm going to maybe sort you out, yeah? I'll see what I can do. I didn't. I was fucking lying. I was dumb, but I did understand that I was getting all the Warlock gear for doing basically nothing, and he would probably put a spanner in the works. Wow. Everybody else in this story, bar you, is a fucking hero. Your friend is a hero. Mavenar's a hero. And just you are just shitting on everybody left and right. And you're getting carried so far at the same time. You're just being carried and swept along. And there's no way of paying it forward. As more and more weeks went on, I did actually start learning what I needed to do. I still died due to my PC. Okay. And I didn't really understand what the bosses were doing, but I knew what I needed to do. All in all, this was quite a good situation for me. The crawlers didn't seem too bothered to have a noob warlock with them. I was getting gear, I got to raid, I felt like an absolute swag muffin. But a little while later, Celise started whispering me. Dude, why are you still in that guild? They don't even like you. I chose to play with you instead of being a world first raider. And then you just like don't play with me at all afterwards? What? What do you mean that? What do you mean they don't like me? Bro, I was literally pugging with one of them the other day and they were talking shit about you in public. Who? I'm not saying who, so you can go bitching at them. I'm not a snitch. Oh, okay. You know what you should do? You should leave and join our guild again. With your gear now, you can like carry us. Back in 10-man, your PC will be fine. You don't belong over there. You should play with me. That was the point, right? We were the dynamic duo. Blood brothers. Nothing separates us. Over here, you'll actually be the king of the DPS. Maybe, but they're letting me raid with them and get loot, and they don't moan at me or anything. Dude, bro, hello, bro. I stayed here for you. I could be like in fucking Paragon right now, right? Why are you like abandoning me after I fucking did that for you? Do you not want to play with me or what? I could have played in like the best guilds in the world, but I chose to stay here with you, mate. So why are you in another guild and like not playing with me? I thought about it and Celise was my hero. As far as I was concerned, and maybe your doubters, Celise could have gone on to being one of the best guilds in the whole game. And he had chosen not to. He had chosen to stay and play with me. And I had left. I had left him when he had stayed. Yeah, I'm sorry, Celise. Honestly, I didn't think about it that way. And you did say I should go and join the other guild. I did ask you first. Yeah, mate, I was like, I didn't think you would, like, actually go, though. Right? Of course I'm going to be supportive, but I didn't think you'd actually leave, especially, like, after I had not left. Okay. He had me. I felt so fucking guilty. I was wrought with guilt. I had abandoned him. And he was my friend. My close friend in real life. I didn't know he was this upset about it. I didn't know that he had taken it this hard. I knew what I had to do. I waited up late. I stayed up after bedtime. Like a man. I keep forgetting how young you are in the story. I stayed up till after bedtime. Until there were only a few people online in the crawlers. And I sneakily G-quit. Celise was there with the invite back to Last Resort. I felt awful. Mavenar and the crawlers had taken me in. A scrubby little kid with big dreams and a big world. They taught me a lot about the game. They taught me about raiding. I'd even gathered enough courage to say things in voice chat and start making friends. I was getting to know some of them. I was playing dungeons with some of them regularly. I could see me staying there forever, getting a new PC. My performance would be so much better. I knew a future where I could grow as a raider and a player in a game I was loving. But it would be wrong to abandon my friend. We were going to be the dynamic warlock duo. We were destined to play together. The next day, of course, Mavenar whispered me, "Dude, what's up? Why have you left?" "Oh, I have to play with my friend." "What? Are you kidding?" "No. You see, when I got World of Warcraft, we said we're going to play together, and I can't abandon him." "So, to be clear, you're just going to join our raids, die all night, take all the loot, and then leave. Do you understand how much investment we've put into you? How much time I've invested into you?" "Yeah." That's your reply? "Yeah." To be fair, that's on you, Mavenar. That's on you. That's on you. That's not on him. That's on you. You did it. "Yeah." Are you fucking serious? You shit little kid. How can you do this? This is really bad what you're doing, dude. You're never going to raid with any other guild on this server, you know? He was stressing me out, so I put him on ignore. I didn't want to deal with it. Pass on that conversation. Oof. Hard pass. Not dealing with that. Ignore. The next week, my friend Celise announced in guild that he was leaving to raid with the crawlers. He swore to me that they had reached out to him after I had left. He swore. And that since he had capped an alt, which meant we could still play together and be blood brothers, then it was fine. I didn't put him on ignore, but I didn't reply. I did the old school ignore. I knew what had happened. We all knew what had happened. But he was my friend, and I didn't want to fight with him. There was no good to come of doing this. I stuck with Celise and Last Resort until Icecrown Citadel, when I stopped playing because of something IRL, I don't remember. We did some Ulduar, but we never ever killed Yogg-Saron. We went on to Trial of the Crusader each week. Celise started raiding, of course, with the crawlers, taking my place on their raid team, and cleared ICC 25 Heroic Lich King with them. We never talked about it. Ever. And we went to different schools later on as we got older, so we didn't play much together after Wrath of the Lich King. In Kata, I started playing on my own on a new character. That's really sad. They never talked about it. He never brought it up. Just let it be. Just let it be. That's so sad. This hasn't made me angry, Bex. I just feel really sad. I'm not angry. I'm just really sad that he just was like, okay, fuck it. Hey, Kata, I started playing on my own on a new character, a DK fresh on the server. I found your YouTube channel, Preacher, and you taught me a lot about the game and all the classes. I became half decent and tried my wings tanking. I found a guild that I'm still in to this day, although FF14 has claimed many of us. My raiding career, why not both? My raiding career has been mostly heroic with this guild. We do it decently well, but mainly we do have a lot of fun. I have done some mythic raiding for a tier or two, but never really stuck to it. My Ubuntu PC stuck with me throughout Cataclysm, and it was not until the Mists of Pandaria was I granted a Windows PC after working my ass off on a paper route one summer. It was so good. So good. I could see what was happening in raids. I could move from things without dedicating movement patterns to memory. The trials of raiding like that, I think, actually made me a better player in the long run. Today, I work and have an hour-long commute. During those commutes, drama time keeps me company, for which I'm very grateful. I know I'm guilty of a lot of shit during this story. Not really. I don't think so. Do we feel like he's guilty? Can we render judgment here? I mean, nothing major. Yeah, it's nothing more than dumb kid shit. No, not guilty. I render you not guilty. He was 13 and he wanted purple pixels. That's it. All he did was say not... I think the only thing he's guilty of is not asking the guild if there was a spot for his friend. That was it. Thank you for reading my little story. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'm not angry. I'm just really, really sad. We have an update from the guy from the ATWOOOO Wolf Guild. Oh, God. Woo! All right, quickly. Before we get to a full story. The title of this story I claim as ATWOOOO for being part 2. Hey, Bex. Hey, Mike, Bex, and chat. I'm happy that y'all seem to enjoy my little story. I just wanted to give you a small update as we go into the Dragonflight expansion. I'm deviating from my warrior and going with something a bit more cold and dead, but not so bony. Can your chat please rate my new main? I guess. I don't really like doing this under armor, but sure. Okay, it's a Panda Death Knight. I'm not even showing that on stream. It'll make people vomit. Now, I know that you guys might think me being a furry, but that is still definitely not the case. Yeah, it's just for Panda. A Panda Death Knight is disgusting. I hope you're all having a great day. Oh, not. I promise you I'm not a furry. That's it. He's just sending us a message to say he's not a furry. Okay. Have a look at the attack animation with two-handed swords of the male panda, and you'll see why I choose what I chose. Note from Bex. Thank you, random guy, for uploading just the two-handed sword animation. Is this something I've been missing out on? Hold on, let me bring this up for... I'll describe it to you audio listeners, don't worry. It's just a panda stood still. And attacking things. I don't get it. Gigaweeb. Survey says Gigaweeb. Gigaweeb confirmed. Furry weeb, you've not done yourself any favors with that update. You've not done any favors whatsoever with that update. Like, furry weeb, one-hander and a two-hander? I mean, sure, I guess. That doesn't work for me, I know that. All right. The ASMR Mage. Oh, God. Casting Rune of Power. And then we gotta use Arcade Intellect here. I'm gonna make dreams come true, ladies and gentlemen. It's gonna be fine. The ASMR Mage. Do we have a name for this? We do! Erstai! There we go. Okay. The ASMR Black Mage. Oh, God. Hello, Preacher, the wonderful Bex, and the most wonderful Twitch chat. Guilty. Never butter up the chat. Never. They'll turn on you like fucking anything. They'll see you like a steak, and they'll be hungry for you. I have a little story of probably the worst raider I have ever encountered. Oh, the worst raider. Okay, how bad is the worst raider? I've been playing FF14 since around Reborn, but didn't seriously get into raiding until the Shadowbringers expansion. I started my own raid group at the start of 5.0, and I'm proud to say it lasted until halfway through 6.2, when I finally disbanded the group after basically everyone that I wanted to raid with had left the group for one reason or another. So this tale comes to you from Shadowbringers. Around 5.2, 5.3, when we were raiding Eden's Verse Iconoclasm, aka E7S to FF Raiders, we had recently lost one of our ranged DPS. And we're out recruiting a replacement. I was approached by a girl called Aristai. Aristai was a black mage with very little raiding experience. But we're casual, relaxed, nothing to worry about. We were a very casual group at the time. And as long as she could do more damage than the tanks, not die all the time, it's all fun. So I invited her to trial with us for 2 days. 2 days to see if she would be a good fit. Now, I had already made a mistake. Where? You see, it turned out she was extremely nervous about the idea of being on trial. As if she was going to court. Oh, no. I told her it's not a trial like that. It's more of a check to see if you vibe with our team. You know, it's not really a super test of whether you know the boss is inside out. It's more a check of whether you'll be a good fit for the squad. After all, she was playing a black mage, so surely she could do half-decent damage and dodge easy AoEs. E7, after all, was the easiest fight of the whole tier by far, and possibly the easiest raid in Shadowbringers as a whole. I was doing call-outs to tell people the entire thing, as long as she could listen, press her keys on her keyboard to move around, she would have no problem. No problem. Yeah, I know, Black Mage dodging? I don't think so. So, the first day begins, and right away, we're put off. As soon as we get together, she says she refuses to speak in Discord. Now, that on its own isn't that weird to me. After all, I'm a girl too. I get it. There's some sweaty nerds out there. I also don't always like talking in voice or to a group of people that I'm unfamiliar with. And it took our warrior a few days to get comfortable with us before she started talking in Discord too. What was weird, however, is that after she said she refused to speak in Discord, she said the reason wasn't because she was nervous about speaking to us. It was because she was saving her voice because she runs an ASMR YouTube channel. As then she proceeded to link it over the next 2 days for us to subscribe and listen to it. Now, that's a new one. That's a new one. That's new. We've had many, 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 many episodes of Drama Time, but that's a new one. Oh no, where? That's awful. Where? Guys, there's like 50 live streams happening right now of ASMR, the way you can see the girl. She's probably not wearing much. Go for it. Enjoy yourselves. Oh no! Oh no! Now, I'm not a regular watcher of ASMR, but I am aware of what this kind of thing's involved. So, of course, I had to check it out. For science, right? Her channel title was something along the lines, and remember, we keep Drama Time anonymous, do not YouTube this, of Aristai the Foxy Vixen. I was disappointed. It wasn't very special. Oh, it was just the usual whispering into the mic, saying kind of sexual things to presumably male listeners. I did find it weird, though, that apparently she wouldn't talk to us on Discord, but she clearly wasn't shy, considering she was talking like this about sexual things. Regardless, we proceeded with the trial. It's whatever. It's a weird thing. We're on the internet. There's things that happen. It's the way it goes. And right away, she was dying all the fucking time to every mechanic that came up. This wasn't entirely unexpected, as she was fairly new to this, but what was unexpected is that she would do the same death over and over and over and over again, even after I fucking slowly, like a child, explained the mechanic to her. I told her exactly when and where she needed to move, where she needed to go. I gave call-outs to, like, each and everything, but she would always do it wrong. And what was more annoying, she would do it wrong in the same way. In some ways, it was amazing to watch. We would tell her to follow the marked player with the big triangle on her head, or move to the B marker. And she would just run to the different one every single time. It took most of the night, but slowly she started to learn. She dodged a couple of things. She wasn't dead when I expected her to be dead. And doing things correctly by sort of the end of the first day. So I figured if she's getting it, she's getting used to it, she's new. Let's bring her back for day 2 and see how much she can remember. Can you guys guess how much she remembered? Fuck all. It's like she started from fresh on day 2. She was making the same fucking mistakes she made the first night, as if she had never stepped foot in the place in her entire life. As if she just wiped the entire night from her memory of all progress that she had personally made in this fight, as if it had been bleached out of her brain. And I was incredibly frustrated. Now, I mentioned earlier that we were raiding E7S and that it was by far the easiest fight in the raid that tier. What I didn't mention is that we had fucking killed this fight weeks ago and we're actually supposed to be on the next boss, number 8. We were just trying to do 7 on the reclear because people needed gear from it. I had been getting us past 5 to 6 by doing them in the party finder before our official raid night since we were done with them. Preacher, you can ask any Shadowbringers raider you want. If E7 was the easiest raid fight in Shadowbringers, E8 was probably the hardest. The words light rampant still cause even some of the hardest stalwart raiders to scream in terror. I personally still cannot hear those words without seeing images of bright flashes of pure light and the accompanying sound of glass or ice shattering. If Aristai couldn't do E7, she was never going to do E8, and let alone lights rampant. So after the end of the second day of our 2-day raid week, I let Aristai know that she's not going to be a good fit. Thank you for the trial process, but we're going to move forward without her. She didn't like that. She disagreed. She didn't seem convinced. I started to arguing that we would definitely kill this boss just fine next week, and throwing back in my face that I said this wasn't a skill check, you said. My deaths should be irrelevant, right? You told me this wasn't a trial, that I wasn't in front of a jury, that I wasn't to be judged, that this was a vibe check. And now you're saying it was a skill check. Your lies are catching up with you, Arthur. So why don't you get your head and your ass wide together and just tell me the truth for once? Is that too difficult? Is that too difficult? I didn't think so. Okay. I definitely ticked a mental box to not say in the future that skill was irrelevant. But it's kind of my fault, I suppose. I genuinely didn't think that people were this bad. So I kind of put myself in a corner. You haven't, by the way. You can still tell her to go fuck herself. Like, it's really not a problem. Nothing's going to happen. It's fine. Just tell her you lied and just move on with your life. That you don't need to, like, give her another try or anything. Just be like, nah. You're not tied to anything. Just be like, oh, all right, okay. Well, you could just tell the truth. It's even better. It's like, well, I didn't expect you to be, like, so bad it looks like you don't have a mouse and keyboard. You know? She did finally accept my rejection of her. So, she asked if she could say goodbye. She went and made an enormous, huge paragraph post in our Discord server, tagging at everyone, telling them how Mr. Author, I am a woman, but my voice is semi-deep, I guess, but she heard me referred to as a girl multiple times over the last few days. Generally unsure if she was intentionally misgendering me or really just was not paying attention to what was going on. She said, Mr. Author has lied to me and probably all of you. She has lied about the expectations for trials in your little guild and how I was unfairly kicking her out of the group even though I had only had 2 days to get a vibe check with you guys. I wish I had a screenshot of the full message to share with you, but I deleted the message from our Discord very quickly. Why? It's a banger. Dude, we crave moments like that. Are you kidding me? That fucking needs printing out and putting up on the wall. Are you mad? You deleted it? Fuck that. Fuck that. Celebrate it, baby. Fucking rouse it up. Deleting it. Psh. I deleted it very quickly and it's too old now to appear in my audit log. I deleted her message, banned her from the server, and she had the honor of being the very first person I have ever banned from Discord. I don't think I've ever banned anyone from Discord, maybe. I did, however, learn a very valuable skill that you guys should probably take with you in the future. Never tell anybody that their ability is probably not that important. Even in a very casual raid group like we were. Because there are some people out there who are absolute clown shoes. Just like Aristai. But at least they're good enough to whisper into a microphone. Thank you for reading my little tale, and I hope it brought you and your chat some good entertainment. It surely does. I've never banned you. Somebody's probably banned you, but not me. I don't personally ban anyone. I wash my hands of the whole thing. Easy game, easy life. Ladies and gents, that does bring us to the end of drama time for this week. We are going to be working hard in the office over the weekend to get to this Blizzard video done and out for you guys. Should be awesome. Thank you for spending so much time with us this week. We'll definitely be back on Monday. We'll be doing some FF8 probably. Seems like a plan before we're preparing to go for Dragonflight Castle and doing all those wonderful things. So thank you, everybody. It's been awesome. My mouth's so dry. I've got crispy lips. Crispy lips. Love you guys. From me and the entire team, from Emma, Nups, Chris, and Bex. See you on Monday. Say goodbye, Chris.
Bye.
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 Hello. Holla ballers and a brofist to you all. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is, of course, Friday, and a very special Friday it is. Immediately following drama, we will be finally being able to show you what we got to see inside Blizzard, the first part of our two-part video series covering all the ins and outs that we can find out about what the future of World of Warcraft is and what changed, what mistakes were made in the past, what have they learned, what are they going to be doing about it, and there's some very exciting things in there for you to share in. We'll be having a watch party here on Twitch with these wonderful people here. Hello, everybody. And we'll also be sticking around afterwards to answer any questions, fill you in on any blanks, any things that come up from the video that you're like, oh, I want to know more about that. I will do my best to share with you because, of course, we have like 15 hours of footage that we recorded in our time in America. We have condensed in part one down to about 1 hour and 12 minutes is where we're going to be. There will be another video after that, but Absolutely, there's not everything in there that we talked about. We will be releasing the full unedited videos of the interviews later down the line, but for right now, we've put it together in a way that we think is very digestible for everybody to enjoy. That is the plan. But right now, there's a little entree into that. And we also have another Dragonflight giveaway to be going on. There'll be one on YouTube and there'll be one here on Twitch. That will be following Drama Time in the video. That's what's coming up then. What is Drama Time? We have a lot of new faces here. What is Drama Time? Over the years, you've probably encountered many people in your anonymous dealings with strangers on the internet, especially when it comes to video games and people being very obsessive or strange or acting in ways they would never act that way in the real world. They would never behave that way. But when it comes to anonymity, they do behave in strange and wonderful ways. And Drama Time is somewhat of a celebration of that. We share those stories, which are usually very funny, and also red flags and warnings to other people, new players who may not understand the intricacies that go on with certain people. So that is what it is. You can send them in to drama@preachgaming.com. We have every story we've ever told on our website, preachgaming.com, with tags and things to search so you can find if you like a particular style of story. They're all curated and prepared by our wonderful Bex, who saves me the trouble of reading these stories so I can read them fresh with you guys. I do not know what's going to be in these stories. Bex prepares them for me and checks they're good and nothing too extreme. We don't like super extreme. No names in this one. All right, so the first tale that we have here is a lovely, lovely tale called We Exist. Now, every time I get a title like We Exist, it's because somebody does something fucking weird. Really creepy and weird. So let's see what this is about. Dear Preacher and the wonderful jury that is your chat. So perhaps, jury, our gavels must be ready here. Do we render judgment on this person? I don't know. This is my very first time ever sending you a tale to Drama Time. I've been a fan of yours for years, mostly from watching you on YouTube since I'm a filthy American. Hey, we embrace Team America around here. But this story isn't really a tale, but a declaration of our existence. And I warn you, this goes deeper than you could ever imagine. Is this ERP? Because we know you guys exist. We don't want to go deep into it, though. We're not ready for that. We don't want to do that. In World of Warcraft, you may know there exists many types of players. You've got casuals who log in, do some dungeons or LFR. Your semi-hardcore players who push keys and maybe do a little bit of raiding on the side. And of course, the giga sweaty, giga mega nerds who push high keys and do mythic raiding. Does that mean... Not anymore. I'm casual now. Those are the most common play styles you'll come across in WoW. But there exists another type of player. A collector. Collectors do what the name implies. Collect things in game for that sweet succulent hit of dopamine. Collections in WoW consist from ranges. They can be pets, transmog, titles, mounts, the usual. So what kind of player am I? Well, we all know that collectors exist. This isn't new news. Well, Preacher, I am something more, something darker, something more nefarious. I'm a mount collector. Okay. But not just any mount collector. You see, most common mount collectors will get a new mount, tuck it away amongst their other rare mounts, never to be seen again. That used to be me. One of the plebs. Before I opened my eyes. Before I moved myself above them. Before I graced a higher stature. When I saw the beautiful truth. One day, while farming for more mounts, as a mount collector would obviously do, I received a message in the pink while waiting for Shar of Anger to spawn so I could get the Heavenly Onyx Cloud Serpent. Did you log in at the right time, though, when it was 100% drop? And I don't think they've taken them away from the people who got them. I think everybody got to keep them. That message was... Please. Please get off that mount. I was stunned and confused. Why? I replied. I've wanted that mount that you're on for 5 years. I still don't have it. And I try every week for 5 years. And seeing you with it makes me uncomfortable. Oh no. This was the first time I had ever had someone message me asking me to get off a mount because it made them uncomfortable. Preacher, I'm not going to lie to you. It felt awesome. If I was to put a word to how it felt to have someone not only recognize the rarity of my mount, but ask me to get off it, that word would be exquisite. Knowing I had made them upset because of something I had and they didn't, it was empowering. It made me realize my true potential. I felt as though I'd had my awakening, almost like a sleeper agent being activated. What mount were you on? Because you were waiting for Shower of Anger. What mount was it? Do I have it? And the new habit started to develop, my friends. I would sit at a world boss or in front of instances with whatever mount people were trying to get from that instance. You son of a bitch. You absolute arsehole. And I would just stare at them. I would just watch them run by, knowing that they were after what I already had. Now, of course, not everyone noticed, and of course, most people didn't care, but every now and again, somebody would stop. They didn't need to say anything to me, but I would watch them target me. Oh, it felt good. It felt so good. I would make sure that they could see me, that they know that I'm better than them. Oh my God, I am better than you. I wouldn't even target them back. I'd just sit there on the mount they wanted, itching for that PM, that whisper saying they hate me or that they were on their 500th attempt. Oh, it would be good. As of that moment, ladies and gentlemen, this is now the only reason I pay a sub. Jesus Christ, dude. Come on. You're paying monthly for this? For this? I pay my sub fee so I can live rent-free in their head after telling them I got the mount on my first try, knowing that it would crush their will and determination. It's like a beautiful exchange in which I get to win everything from them and they get nothing. Eventually, they will give up or rarely try and farm those mounts again, I like to think. But why do I do this? Why? Why do I do this and I still do this to this day? Simple, really. Rare mounts are rare for a reason. They have value. And that value is chipped away with other people obtaining them. For rare mounts to stay rare, my friends, sacrifices must be made. People need to be put in their place. My goal has been to slowly eat away at their motivation to even get the mount, so that they won't get it, thus keeping my mounts as rare as they can be. Now, what's strange is, I'm not the only one. I am one of many. Yes, preacher and chat, we're everywhere. I managed to find many other people who felt the same as me, especially after they got their first whisper. It's addictive. We consider ourselves silent protectors of rare mounts. Do you think maybe this has gone to your head a little bit? Like, just a little bit. You formed a little club? A little club of people? Is that what you've done? You formed a little team? As silent protectors, we do not take kindly to other people getting them after we've obtained them. Across the globe, from Kalimdor to Northrend, Pandaria and Draenor, even to the Shadowlands, our work has no bounds. The best part of this is when someone really gets upset. You You can almost feel their spirit break. More of our members will log in and sit around the same instance, also with the desired mount. We form a little blockade when we know somebody is breaking. Jesus Christ. This is so dark. We got one. Whoop, 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 whoop. We got one. Everyone to Shah right now and sit on the mount. This way, the reason we do this is because if many of us sit there on the mounts, it makes them think the mount is easy to get. Most people probably have it, leaving the poor player who doesn't have it to believe that they just suck. That maybe they're the problem. That they're forever unlucky. And they should just stop trying. I've managed to grow our community into triple digits. Have you formed from Asmon's community? I feel like you formed from Zach's community. I really do. I feel like you found each other in Zach's chat. And now you've sort of like linked up in some really gross way. One of our members is very close with people at Blizzard who safeguard our accounts. No, they don't. We take no chances of losing our grasp on the world. I will end my little story with this. You can't stop us. For long we have gone unnoticed by the masses. If you ever see someone waiting outside an instance or a spawn and they're sitting on the mount that you're waiting for, it's probably one of us. We exist, and we're here to break you. I don't think anybody hearing this is going to be broken. I think we're probably going to be fine, right? I think we're probably going to be fine. We're going to be okay. We had dozens. Who cares? Exactly. Who cares? Although some people did get legitimately mad that I have a big blizzard bear. You mad? I've got a big blizzard bear. Do you have a big blizzard bear? No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't have one. Okay. Thanks for choosing this one, Bex. I'm sure this is lovely. Keyboard. Hello. Woo-hoo. There we go. I wish I was a bubble boy. Okay, I wish I was a bubble boy. So for our WoW audience, I need to explain this to the WoW guys now, don't I? I need to explain it. Yeah, like you're all like some of you are laughing already, but I need to explain this to the WoW guys. In FF14, I know you don't want to hear it, anime, weeboo, etc., but you're not allowed to use add-ons, right? That's part of the game. People do use add-ons, but the kind of relationship is you don't say you're using them, we won't come chasing after you. Simple as that. I unfortunately show my screen when I'm playing games. You may have noticed that you can see my screen, and I do use an add-on. I have accepted this, and my add-on is chat bubbles. That's it. That's it. I have one add-on, and it's chat bubbles, and it makes my life so much better. And it makes the game so much better. But FF14 does not have chat bubbles. Now, why is this a big deal? I can be banned from the game for doing it and streaming it. And there's a very real chance I will not be able to take part in like media tours or anything like that because I have chat bubbles. It's a risk I take. I accept the consequences if I get banned. But the nickname for me is Bubble Boy. Bubble Boy. Okay, no names here. Toxic chat bubbles. Yes, exactly. Banning and slapping and all those kind of things. All right. Bubble Boy. No, we haven't had that confirmed, but it's a very real risk because I do stream with an add-on. Okay. Preacher, I'm a brand new fan and only recently have my friends recommended me your channel. Thanks, friends. That's really kind of you. But ever since I've been binging Drama Time and some of your FF videos, living in California, I was just there, it's difficult for me to catch your live streams. However, I did catch one of your live streams recently and quickly learned of your desire for FF14 to have inbuilt chat bubbles. Yes, please. We beg. I didn't even know there were third-party mods that let you have them. I didn't either. They told me, right? Like, this is on you. I didn't know. I just said one day, I really wish we had chat bubbles. And it was fucking these guys who totally told me, well, you can. You can. It'd be nice. And then they put on a play which chat bubbles were integral to it. And it was extremely good and went viral everywhere. It was very good. I wish, like you, that chat bubbles did exist. Because there was a time where I quit the entire game. Oh no. After a horrible trial that would have been saved if we had chat bubbles. Let me give you some little context to my very sad story. Okay. I'm an insecure gamer. Even though I've been gaming forever, I've had to deal with my peers criticizing my gameplay, constantly saying I'm shit because I'm a girl. I mostly played FPS games, which I poured hours into trying to get better. I even played a game competitively. But it didn't matter how good I got. There were always people quick to use any mistake I made to point out the fact that I was a woman. That doesn't seem believable. Does it, team? Does it seem believable that that would happen? That seems very unlikely. Very unlikely. No, very unlikely. And therefore, of course, all women are bad at games. As it is known. I wish I was a stronger person. I wish I didn't let random strangers on the internet get to me. But I've always been sensitive. And the constant criticisms of my gameplay and the feeling of, if I'm bad at games, then all women are bad at games, got worse and worse. Oh, you were like carrying all of womankind on your shoulders. That's terrible. That's garbage. If I played any games less than perfectly, it would haunt me for days, play on my mind. I would genuinely feel like I had let down every woman who plays video games. These insecurities were so bad that they carried on into any non-single player game I played, including FF14. I actually played A Realm Reborn a little after its release because a friend of mine told me he was enjoying it so much I should join in. The only MMOs I'd played at this point were free-to-play Korean MMOs, Guild Wars 2, games that I could basically solo, and I never had to interact with another human being. And yes, even in Guild Wars 2, I ignored every dungeon and co-op content, but I have since done them now. So at that point, I had never really played a dungeon or co-op content in any MMO. I just liked making a pretty character, exploring a cool fantasy world, and play the main storyline. But as you know, FF14 makes you do dungeons. Makes you do cooperative content to get through its story. Yeah, I mean, is that only true now in Heavensward? Or they've changed that recently, though, right? The duty system has replaced nearly every dungeon, I think, at this point. It was only recently. Did they do Heavensward last patch? Next patch in Heavensward is fixed. Only Stormblood. Yeah, you can use the trust system now. All A Realm Reborn in Heavensward. And Heavensward they're fixing next time. Okay, Stormblood's still to go. Okay, so yeah, they have changed that now. So you can play with the NPCs. Anyway, unfortunately, by the time I finally installed FF, my friend had quit already. Sounds about right. So I had no one to queue dungeons with. For the life of me, I cannot remember how I dredged up the bravery to do the first couple of dungeons in the main story. I imagine I was so scared that I wiped the memories from my mind. All I do remember from playing FF on release is that I got to the point in the story where you have to fight Ifrit. I waited 15 minutes in that DPS queue. And all the time as that clock ticked, my anxiety rose. It got so bad that I gave up on the queue. But I had no idea how to leave the room that you're stuck in to fight Ifrit. I'm sure there was a way to get out, but I was unhappy. I couldn't enjoy the game like this, so I didn't bother figuring it out. So I uninstalled the game immediately for 5 years. Jesus Christ. Did it trap you in a room? I don't remember that. Did it literally trap you in a room before you fight Ifrit? I mean, I had you guys, so I didn't have to do that. I'm sure you can leave, but did it, like, kind of put you in a cave? Okay. I had you guys, so I had insta-queues, but there you go. To this day, My first character is still in that room where your character has been captured by the Amaljar. Wow. From the launch of A Realm Reborn till now, that character is still captured by that room, in that room. That's cold. Let's go forward 5 years. I'm still an insecure gamer, but I was at a point in my life where I wanted to overcome those insecurities and get past them. I wanted to grow, get rid of these fears that kept me from doing something that should be enjoyable, like playing games. Excuse me. I had realized in my years of improving in FPS games, I wasn't even playing them to have fun anymore. I was just doing it to prove to others that I wasn't a shitter. I realized that was a stupid reason to play games and that I should play for myself and fuck everyone else. While it may sound silly to people who've always played that way, I decided to confront my fears head on by doing 2 things that I was not comfortable with. Play an MMO that was dungeons with other people, and be the healer who was responsible for the wipe. The truth is, I just always enjoyed being a DPS in any game and found playing support boring. But over time, I started having people tell me I should play healer because I'm a girl. That's not me. That's not me. I've never said that. That's not on me. And that made me never, ever want to touch healing at all. But as I was trying to break free from the influence of arseholes on the internet, I thought, fuck it. All right, I'll try doing some healing. I'll do it. I'll do it just to spite them. Just to spite them. I don't think that's going to spite anybody. Getting a healer for the dungeon is not really a spiteful thing to do. It's not. That's not going to be a thing. So, I bravely reinstalled the game. I made myself a brand new character as a conjurer. I doubled down and made a pink-haired cat girl, trying to make her look as ooh-woo and as feminine as possible. Part of why I did this was because this was the exact opposite of the kind of character I would normally create. I had spent the past several years being super uncomfortable with anything that might indicate that I was a woman. So I veered away from anything feminine. Honestly, I don't fucking like pink ooh-woo aesthetic. Who's won here? So not only are you coming to heal these people, but now you're playing a character you don't like, and you're the winner out of this? I mean, isn't play for you, play whatever you like, and just going that way? I don't know. But I guess forcing myself to play it felt like exposure therapy. The other benefit was that if I played a cute pink-haired cat girl healer, probably everyone would think I was a dude. That's super true. If I see a very, very sexualized character, it's a dude. It's always a dude. Yeah, it's always a dude. If it's a character that is being ludicrously sexual, it's a dude. It's totally a dude. After the character creation, I once again braved things I had never done before. I accepted the first guild invite I received upon entering Gridania. If I was going to try overcoming social anxiety, I should try being social, right? While accepting a random guild invite in a starting area may sound like a mistake to some people, everybody, that's everybody, it was actually fine. I already reminded my anxious self that I could leave the guild at any moment if there were a bunch of weirdos. But I was fortunate. This guild was just a small group of really, really nice people. The leader was also a woman, which helped put me at ease. They helped me do dungeons and even offered to craft gear for me. I didn't accept the free gear because of past experiences where accepting free things became disastrous and they might start creeping. Jesus Christ. We're literally just trying to help. No. Nope. In retrospect, it would have been fine because this guild just had normal, well-adjusted people, but still, I said no. The guild gave me good advice. Told me to take my time, enjoy the story, enjoy the game, but also were excited for me to level so I could join their new raid with them. I think it was the first Omega raid. Slowly, I was learning how to heal. It turns out I was fucking awful at healing, and many fellow weebs died under my careful arms. Down we go. But something strange happened. As their corpses littered around me, no one gave me any shit. Even the randoms I played with were supportive and nice and gave me tips. After years of pretty much only playing FPS, this was weird to me. Who knew people on the internet could actually be nice? Slowly but surely, my anxiety became more manageable. If no one was around in the free company to help me in a dungeon or a trial, I would just queue by myself. Although it took a while sometimes to push the button. However, there was so much content to get through. And quite frankly, I just got distracted by all the other things to do in the game. I was also busy IRL, so I played FF on and off for months, slowly making my way through the MSQ, while always getting sidetracked by leveling, other jobs, other classes. I never actually got to play any endgame content with my guild, but I was happy and enjoying the game on my own anyway. I was learning to be a healer, which I was continuing to play even though I'd unlocked other classes. I do think I'm a DPS main at heart, but it just felt a little act of defiance every time I joined as a healer. It was a constant reminder that I'm doing this because I want to do it. A choice made, not because of other people in the past who told me I should play healer because I'm a girl, but despite them. I reached the post-Stormblood story right when Shadowbringers arrived. For the first time, I got to try out new content on release, and I was so excited for it. Not only would I get to experience that content at the same time as everyone else, but I probably wouldn't have to feel anxious about not knowing a boss mechanic because it was new. Everyone would be learning, right? This was especially reassuring as I'd actually not played FF for months and was still relearning on the comeback. But then I got to the first dungeon, and I learned about the trust system. And the smile that covered my face. Are you telling me I don't have to play with other human beings? I don't have to risk being around the toxic and the poison? I can actually play with the main characters of this amazing story. The NPCs can't be disappointed in me. The NPCs can't shame me. I had survived getting through the rest of that story by looking up dungeon guides, learning boss mechanics, and I was a little worried about the fact that none of these guides existed yet because the game was new. But now I could learn it on my own, away from others. So I continued along the Shadowbringers story using trust for those first two dungeons. But then I got to that first trial. The fairy queen herself, Titania. And my heart dropped as I realized trials cannot be played with NPCs. Fa la 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 la, die! Fa la 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 la, burn! I took a look at my free company list, see who was online in guild. No one's online. I almost fucking wimped out. I almost logged off, thinking I should just wait. I'll do it with the rest of the guild. I'll give it a wait, but the Shadowbringers story is so fucking good, and I needed more. I needed more, and I needed more right now. I doubled down and remembered why I even was playing a healer in the first place and was ashamed of myself. Yes, I suffered doing the trust system as a healer. Oh no. Ew. It was I was an astrologian. It was the only class I had leveled up high enough to play Shadowbringers instead of just queuing with other people. The whole reason I was playing FF as a healer, no less, was to become comfortable playing with other people. And here I was, now playing a healer with NPCs, falling into old cowardly habits. So I gritted my teeth and queued for the Dancing Plague. Alone. How bad could it possibly be? It was rough, to say the least. I was managing to keep myself alive, but I had really given up on any pretense of doing damage and just focused on healing and rezzing the massacre that was taking place around me. People were just dying left and right. It didn't matter if I was pumping them with heals. People just died. They didn't know anything that was happening. At some point, the other healer died as well, and I became even more tunnel visioned on trying to hard cast Raise on my party. In this fight, my instant cast was constantly on cooldown. I tried my best to get that healer up as quickly as possible while still dodging mechanics, but more and more people were dying. I was the only person with heals, and I was trying desperately to get the other healer up. At this point, most of the party was dead. I wonder if this is why I finally, for the first time that entire fight, checked my chat window. Healer, use LB. Healer, LB. Ooh, healer, LB. Why is the healer griefing us, though? What are you griefing us for, though? LB, what the fuck? Just res us all? What the fuck? Can't you even read, mate? Mate, excuse me. Can you not even fucking read, though? You is bad at this game, mate. My head was spinning. Shame washed over me. I had never cast Limit Break on my healer. Not one fucking time. I had never needed to. The NPCs didn't need it. I was told that DPS just uses their limit break to kill the boss. I didn't even know what the healer limit break did. Oh no. Shit. To be fair, I'm still getting used to the idea you can just res everybody in one go. At that point, I didn't know what to do. After resing the other healer, I just went ahead and pushed Limit Break. Confused. Why it felt like the button just wasn't working. But suddenly everyone was picked up. So I figured, oh, I must have cast it. And it reses everyone? Question mark? Oh, but it didn't matter. All of this was happening during a major DPS check. And we wiped immediately after I resed everybody. That's how you use healer LB properly. Res everybody, instantly die again. Smart. The messages kept coming, insulting me specifically. Me and my ignorance for not being able to fucking read a simple command that I realized they had been typing for quite some time. Yeah, for the WoW guys, Limit Break is their answer to Bloodlust, but it comes in 3 versions. There's a tank Limit Break that protects everybody, reduces the damage for the whole raid. DPS LB, which does massive damage to the target. And Healer LB that reses everybody at its full power. But you can only use one or the other. So you can't, like, use all 3. But yeah, FF does that. I have no idea how anyone... I have no idea how anyone reads chat windows during a fight while you're trying to do mechanics. But I apologized. I didn't see the message. I was trying to keep you all alive. I was resing. But they didn't accept my apology. Everyone was angry at me. They repeated again that I just needed to use that healer LB, that I just needed to read. If I just read, they would have killed it by now and been out of here. I've never used it before, I told them. I'd only ever pressed Limit Break as a DPS. I swear to you guys, I don't even know what healer Limit Break does. I had never had a reason to use it until now. They argued that I should know. I futilely tried to explain that I just never needed it. I even said I had clicked the button once I had actually seen their messages. But then the other healer kicked in. No, he didn't. I did. It occurred to me then why the button wasn't working when I was pressing it. I had pressed it, but they had pressed it already as well. They must have pressed it just before I did. I tried my best to explain, say I wasn't trying to take their credit. I wasn't trying to say I did it and you didn't, because clearly that had made the other healer completely lose it at me. The barrage of insults continued, only got worse. It didn't matter how polite I was or how much I accepted the blame. I was an idiot. It was all my fault. I was told I shouldn't play healer if I hadn't bothered to read what my heals do. So I finally just stopped typing, letting them get the rest of it out of their system until we finally tried the fight again, which we killed very quickly. I was filled with so much shame. Left the trial and logged out of FF. I will tell you now, Mike, and an audience, I wish I was stronger. I wish other people's words didn't get under my skin, but even after all this time, despite my best efforts, they still do. That seems like a particularly toxic group for FF. But I don't know. My experience probably isn't the same with everybody, but I've never, even when I do random stuff, I've never seen anyone behave like that. And it felt especially awful this time. The things that party had said needled the exact insecurities I had. The very ones I was in the trial trying to overcome. I had little by little been learning to be comfortable playing with randos, and it felt like I just had all that progress smashed. I wasn't even back to square one. I was further in my hole of insecurities than I had been before. I did keep playing through Shadowbringers after that, at least feeling safe in the solo player experience. I went straight back to using the trust system, of course. Yes, still healing them. The worst class to solo with. I didn't care how slow it was. I could enjoy the story, and my lovely Scion NPCs never said anything rude to me. Of course, that only lasted for so long, as I eventually got to the next trial of Shadowbringers. I didn't even bother trying to get my FC to help me. There are only about 3 people active in my guild. Obviously not enough for a full squad. I didn't want to play with any randoms ever again. Don't tell me you never finished Shadowbringers. Unable to progress in the story, I had no reason to keep playing FF. I logged out. Oh, this is so sad. This is so sad. This is so sad. If it makes you feel better, you can pick up a Venard displate from us, and she'll take care of you on discount now on displate. Maybe that'll cheer you up, right? If you're feeling down, why not pick up a Venard displate for 44% off on displate? That'll help you out. And an Emmett Salk one. I'm just saying. Spoiler plate. I came back to FF. See, I knew that it has a good ending, motherfuckers. I came back to FF a few months before Endwalker came out. So about 2 years later. You logged out of Shadowbringers for 2 years. That's grim. That's really grim. 2 years. 2 of my friends decided to pick up the game and got me interested in coming back. I didn't even progress in the MSQ when I came back. Part of it was because my friends had joined the Primal data center and I was on Ether and I didn't want to transfer. Even though my free company was tiny and dead, I didn't have the heart to leave them. So I just made a new character on my Primal and played with friends like that. It was nice because I was able to rebuild my confidence playing a new character with a little sprout icon. Maybe I wasn't truly a sprout, but my last experience in FF had left me feeling like one. Unfortunately, my friends had way more time to game and got way ahead of me. And I was getting annoyed going through the tedious parts of leveling a new character. I think it was gathering ether currents in Heaven's Ward that broke me and I decided it wasn't worth the trouble of trying to catch up. I was told DC travel was coming with Endwalker, so I waited patiently to continue the story when I was able to play with my friends on the other server. As you know, DC travel did not come with the release of Endwalker. It had been delayed. But we had a great party, didn't we? The rejoining was a great party. Let's remember. WoW guys won't know, but we threw probably the biggest party in that game's history. It was baller. It was baller as fuck. We had a good time. My friends had long since finished the Shadowbringers story, and one of them kept poking me to do it because he kept saying it was really fucking good. It is the best RPG story I've ever played, so I agree. You should. Nodders. And now that data center travel felt like a distant dream, I braved the second trial of Shadowbringers. What's the second trial of Shadowbringers? I'm trying to think. What's the second trial? Oh, Innocence. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Innocence. Oh, God. God, you missed out on so much story. That's so sad. I felt so silly with how easy that trial went. I felt even more silly with the cutscene that followed it with its massive story belief. I could not believe this is where I had stopped playing FF. And that I had stopped here in the story. Duh! Then, of course, the rest of the story was fucking even more amazing and made me feel like such an idiot for not playing it until now. That's an oof. Yeah, that is an oof. Even WoW gamers should play the FF story. It's fucking awesome. I half-jokingly say I quit because chat bubbles weren't in the game. To be fair, if chat bubbles had existed, I would have seen their messages. I would have seen their messages on that fateful day. No one would have gotten mad at me, even though honestly with how that trial went, I think we still would have wiped. Looking back at it, it annoys me that all the other players had died multiple times, yet apparently it was all my fault for not rezzing them. Not a word was said about anyone else in that trial. Of course, things also would have been different if I had just known what the fucking spell did in the first place. I'm not saying I'm not partially to blame, but fuck those guys. They were assholes who clearly knew more about the game, but were dying to mechanics more than I was, the bunch of shitters. That's the attitude. That's how you MMO game, you bunch of fucking shitters. I wish I had this confidence back then, but I also know they were just looking for a scapegoat to vent their frustrations out on. I'm happy to say that I have no problem queuing with randos anymore. I even started doing normal raid content. I was too nervous to try then. I'm still gathering courage to figure out how to start doing savages and extremes, but I hope I will get there one day. Until then, I still have so much side content to get through that I was never able to experience before because of my own fears. Thank you for taking the time to read my sad little tale of lack of chat bubbles. Maybe someday it will be in the game, because fuck reading the chat window. Who does that? I guess the party was kind of right and said I can't read, at least unless it's in bubble form. I'm with you. I'm with you. Fucking chat bubbles forever, baby. I do not read chat boxes. Oh, we've got time for one more before our Blizz video. Let's get it done. Is this it? I like your shit. Okay. I don't read chat boxes. Like, no. Not at all. Not when I'm raiding. Like, people typing shit during raid, fuck that. I like your shit will be our final story of today. Hello, Mikey, and the wonderful chat. Today I bring to you the tale of the only interaction in an MMO that gave me the creeps. Oh, God. I'm going to take you guys back to patch 5.4 in Mists of Pandaria. Little background, I played a lot of private Burning Crusade and Wrath servers and only started playing in the official Blizzard servers at the start of Mists of Pandaria. Also, I hail from Chile in the dreaded Latin American servers. See if your chat can guess the name of my server. Okay, come on, Team America. Where are they? Where are they? Nobody's quite got it, I don't think. I play on Kel'Thalas. Yes, it's just the small town comparison of Ragnaros. I know. Stop telling me. I'm already guilty for my RNG spawn on the world and the server I play on. But this... I never thought of birth as RNG world spawn. That's a good way of putting where you're born. RNG world spawn. Son of a bitch. But it is relevant for my little tale. One day while running around the Timeless Isle, killing rares and farming coins, a naive paladin asked in the general chat, how does he get to Ordos? Obviously, he got trolled by everyone telling him to just jump the bridge. He did that and jumped to his death. But I felt like being helpful. I whispered him, told him all about the legendary cloak and the grind he had to do to get there. He thanked me. Told me that I was kind, unlike all the other trolls in World of Warcraft. Could he be my friend? Could he be my friend? This is why we don't help anybody, right? This is why we don't help anybody. This is what happens. At the time, and at the age I was at, having a friends list with lots of people in it made me feel good. This is why I added everybody who ever wanted to know me on Facebook. So I accepted. Oh, we have got a name. Okay, cool. I'm popular, you know. Look at all my Facebook friends. And so it was that Jithy entered my WoW life. Jithy was a legitimate noob. He asked me stuff about raids, scenarios, and all types of content, and I was happy to include him on all the things I could invite him, like flex raids or farming old mounts. But you see, Mike, Jithy was strange. A bit odd. Like, a bit invasive. He liked being in party with me, just to chat, even if we weren't in the same zone. I didn't mind at first. I liked talking to him. So I was 15 at this time, and he told me he was also 15, and also from Chile, but from a different city. So I assumed then that we probably have similar interests, right? Where is this going, Bex? I don't know. Yeah, red alert team. Red alert. Red alert. Red alert team. Are we okay? Now, let me do some cultural education for you in the stream. All right, sit up straight, everybody. We're getting some cultural lessons. We'll start with slang terms that the Chileans use. Mainly, weon, which can mean a lot of things given the context, like to call someone an idiot, or use it to refer to a friend or a thing. Oh, like cunt. Got it. Just a very versatile word that is considered vulgar, and we are mocked by the rest of Latin American countries by using it so often. Got it. Understands. I get it. Jithy didn't say it. He used a very formal type of speech. It was rare for a 15-year-old on the internet. But I noticed it. It was a red flag. But I ignored it. He would always whisper to me, telling me that I was cool for the adventures that I'd completed, like normal Siege of Orgrimmar, or a challenge mode. You are so cool. I really hope to be like you sometime. Would be a message he would often send me. He started sending me gold and pets in the mail, including a Pandaren water spirit, which I really liked. I wanted that pet, and I think it was kind of rare or expensive at the time, but I can't be sure. But the next red flag was raised when all I said, in all caps, was BRB. So, Mike, another cultural lesson for you in the audience. You'll be surprised by the amount of people in Latin American servers that don't know what BRB or AFK mean. And Jithy was one of them. So I had to explain to him. I just went away for a bit. Where did you go? He asked. To the bathroom. That is very cool. And what did you do there in this bathroom? I went for a shit. That is cool. You are very cool, and your shit is cool too. Now, Mike and chat, I'll be honest. Reading this message was funny, but also very creepy. But it became like a regular thing. The whispers would include an extra message at the end telling me stuff like, you are cool. I like you. I like your shit. He would also whisper me during my StarCraft 2 games, and that is unacceptable. Whoa. There'll be no talking during StarCraft 2, alright? World of Warcraft, okay. But during StarCraft 2, you better hush your fucking noise, yeah? You better staple that flap up. That's all I'm saying. So I said, nope, I am not dealing with this, and I removed him from the battle tag and ignored him. So he made an alt and started whispering me on the alt. Why have you removed me from the friends list? That is not very cool. I ignored that alt too. So he made another alt. Another S message. Asking me why. That he considered me a friend. Telling me that stuff like that always happens to him. He just wants a friend. But every time he tries and makes a friend in World of Warcraft and he's just nice to people, they always ignore him. That actually made me feel bad because I could see that that probably has happened many times. So I thought, why don't I be the difference maker, my friends? Why don't I be the difference maker? I can help him. I can teach him. I can increase his level of social skills. Something, so this doesn't keep happening to him. But no, I couldn't be asked. I made it not my problem anymore. A 15-year-old had other things to worry about, like actually being cool at school and trying to lose my virginity. I was already very busy in my real life. You know, Mike, I had a lot of good times in WoW. I quit during Shadowlands because, of course, now I play FF, where surely conversations about poop are less common. But this one interaction has been on my mind for all these years. But Mike and chat, after all these years, I don't feel bad about the shit comment, which you may fixate on. I don't feel bad about the socially awkward teenager. I don't feel bad about ignoring him and all of his alts. The thing I regret the most is I kept that fucking water spirit. Level 25, baby. I should have returned it to him, but I really liked it. And every time I open my pet list, it's right fucking there, reminding me of the person who liked my shit. Thank you for understanding my tale. I hope everyone stays safe and beware of people overly attached or trying to give them some social advice in a nice way. What did you name it? I don't think that's the top comment, right? Payment for the crazy. Good little story. That is cool. Well, that does bring us to the end of drama for today.